Hey everybody, welcome to episode 8, Candace's Path and Ours. The soul journey we're still walking together. You're listening to Our Candy Rose for Those Who Stay, a grief and soul journey podcast in loving memory of Candace Rose Olson, 2007 to 2025. For those who stay, we remember her life will never be in vain. Everything we do will be in her name. I'm Dena. This is our story, and maybe it's yours too. Yesterday, I recorded yesterday and today. Doesn't mean that they're back to back. Besides the point. I didn't have her out here with us yesterday. The one that I normally have in the podcast series is actually living up in Iowa right now with family. This one was given to us and made for us by the funeral home, and it's a yellow rose, and it has some of her ashes in there, and we have a little stand that illuminates the globe, and so she's just like our little hallway light that brings us hope and joy every time we walk by it. And before I go to sleep at night, I'll kind of, hey girl, and then before I leave for work in the morning, just little rituals that help me through my day and make me feel connected to her. So let's get started. Let's see. When someone we love dies, people talk a lot about our grief, our healing, our survival, our journey. But there's another part of the story, a quieter, sacred part. The part where we begin to wonder, what was their soul here to do? Who were they beyond the pain, beyond the human moments, beyond the way their life ended? Who were they? What if their story didn't stop the day they left? What if their path is still unfolding? In us, through us, with us. Today we honor Candace's path and the way she's still walking beside us. The soul of a girl who came here to shine. There are some people who enter this world with a certain light. You feel it the very moment they walk in or arrive. Candace was one of them. Ours wasn't just a mother-daughter relationship. It was a soul partnership, the kind where you feel like you've walked together before. She was fierce and soft all at the same time, independent but deeply connected to every moment. Wildly creative, but grounding for the people that she loved. Her presence had weight, a soul that seemed older than her years. Even though she had some really immature moments, but don't we all, right? Even as a child, she had this sense of knowing. She didn't just live in the world, she observed it, questioned it, moved through it with purpose. Even when she didn't realize she was doing it. And if you look at her life, not through the lens of tragedy, but through the lens of soul contracts, timing, and spiritual purpose, you start to see a picture that's bigger than the human story. I've come to believe Candace came here with a very specific mission, to teach, to awaken, and to bind our family together in a way that transcends time. Not because she stayed long, but because of who she was while she was here. Not to stay forever, but to change us forever. Her path didn't end, it shifted. When Candace died, it felt like her story stopped abruptly, like someone ripped the last chapters out of a book we weren't done reading yet. But the more I've walked through grief, the more I've listened to the signs, the dreams, the quiet nudges, the more I realized her path didn't end, it shifted. She's still teaching, she's still guiding, she's still showing up in the exact moments we need to hear from her. Excuse me. She shows up in cardinals at impossible times, in the witching hour wake-ups, in butterflies and dragonflies, the tiny visitors that feel like whispers. And especially on the porch, the place where I talk to her, breathe for her, and let myself be her mom in the quiet. In the tears that appear out of nowhere when I see her name. In Bella's strength, quieter word, but the same fire. In my own becoming, she speaks in symbols now, but she's still speaking every day. The lessons she left behind and keeps leaving. Every soul leaves something behind when they go, but souls, like Candace's, leave assignments, work for us to do. Here are the ones she gave to me, the ones I'm still learning to live. Love people in their becoming, not their perfection. Candace had this way of seeing people where they were, not where they should be. She loved the in-between. Be brave enough to feel everything. She felt deeply every emotion, joy, frustration, excitement, fear. She lived in full color. And now I'm learning to feel without running. Tell the truth, even when your voice shakes. She didn't sugarcoat who she was. If she loved you, you knew it. And if she was hurting, she couldn't pretend her way through it. Creating something, anything, from your pain. She made art out of scraps, outfits out of nothing, stories out of thin air. Her whole life was a reminder that creativity is survival. Stay connected, even beyond the veil. Her signs are not accidents, they're invitations. Proof that love keeps moving. These aren't just lessons. They're the pieces of her soul she placed in my hands. And in Bella's, the sister who now carries her name like a second heartbeat to carry forward. The path we walk now, all intertwined. People say grief separates the living from the dead, but I've learned something different. Loss doesn't create distance, it creates layers. There's the physical world, and then there's the world we feel, the world we dream in, the world where love keeps speaking even when a voice has gone quiet. My path and Candace's didn't split, they braided. She walks through my choices and my healing, my voice on this microphone. She walks through Bella's laughter, her strength, the way she holds her sister in memory and becoming. We're still a family, just living in 2 dimensions now. If you're listening and your heart is aching for someone you've lost, I want you to hear this. Their path, it didn't end, and neither did your bond. Love does not disappear. It adapts, it evolves, it finds new ways to reach you. Your person is still teaching you, still guiding you, still shaping the way you move through the world. You don't honor them by moving on. You honor them by moving with them. I'm still learning from Candace every day, and maybe that's proof that love outlives the body. Next week, we step into the mystery itself. Episode 9 next week, where the soul goes. There comes a moment in grief when we begin to ask questions we never imagined asking. Questions about what happens to the soul after it leaves the body, where our loved ones actually go, and how they continue to reach us in the spaces between our breaths. Episode 9 is an exploration of that mystery. We'll talk about the ways that the soul stays present through signs, dreams, timing, intuition, and the moments that defy logic but feel undeniably true. We'll share stories of the cardinal at the truck, the witching hour wake-ups, the moment where Candace shows up with perfect clarity, as if she's saying, I'm still here, pay attention to me. Episode 9, where the soul goes, not where the soul goes. Not an ending, but an opening. Thank you all for joining us. As always, love you, love you.